this is Jamie Maggart. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how to make this card. Let's get started. Okay, there's quite a lot of supplies, so let me bring them in here. For inks, I have Memento, Polished Pink, and Soft Succulent. Those are some of the new ink colors. I'm going to be using the Color and Contour. I'm going to be using these. And this one, but I'm going to bring in a sentiment from All Things Fabulous, this one here. For dies, I have several dies. I'm going to be using the Basic Borders dies, this border here. Let me actually take it out. I have the largest scalloped rectangle, and that is from, let's see, Stitched So Sweetly dies. I have the 5th from the largest stitched rectangle, from the stitched rectangles, and this lacy piece is from Painted Labels, the poppies. Goes with the poppies. So those are the dies I'm going to be using. Put these aside so I don't lose them. I'm going to be using 2 punches. I'll be using this one here, which is the Lovely Labels punch, Pick-a-Punch. I'm going to be using this side here, and this punch here, which is the Delightful Tag Topper. Okay, put those aside over there. For consumables, I have a half an inch strip. It's a scrap. It's 1/2 inch by 4 inches of white. I have a 3/4 inch by 4 1/4 inch piece of black. I have a scrap to punch. In fact, let's just do that now. Get it out of the way. The Delightful Tag Topper, and it's 2 inches wide. It's just a scrap, so however long you need it to be so it fits in. And this is just about 2 3/4 inches, I think. So you can manage it. Go ahead and punch it. Okay, so we got that piece. I have a scrap of black that this die is going to go on. I have a piece of white, which I'm going to cut out with this die here. I have a piece of Blushing Bride, which I'm going to use this die on. I have my card base. Well, it's not a card base, it's this layer here. We're going to stamp on, and then we're going to cut this edge out of it. And then I have a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of black, and my card base, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and do all my stamping, and then we will die cut out everything we need to die cut. Okay, so let's put these aside for a minute. Alright. I'll put this one aside for a minute too. I'm going to do this one first. Okay, so I'm going to bring in this one, the Memento black ink. to re-ink that again. I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. Since I haven't die cut it yet, I'm just going to stamp it in the center. Perfect. Actually, it's not perfect. There's fuzz on it, so let's turn it over. Wash it real fast. Try that again. Much better. Okay. Now we're going to, we're done with the memento ink, so we can put that away. We'll bring in the polished pink. And this stamp. I'm going to ink that up. We're going to hover over our flowers. Go ahead and stamp. Perfect. We're done. And we're going to bring in the sentiment. Wishing you all things fabulous. I'm going to stamp that right in the center. Okay. Done with the polished pink. Oh, no, we're not. We are for this part, though. Okay. Can you see anything? Okay, then I'm going to bring in this one. And you'll see it has two leaves on it. This is an outline stamp, so I've turned it over. And I'm just going to be inking this small section here. Oops, I'm not in camera. I've turned it over. This is the part you normally stamp. I'm going to just ink this small leaf, and I'm going to use that image twice. I didn't like how it looked when I inked the whole thing. So let's see if we can get this done. I'm going to show you how I inked it. I just inked just that little bit of it. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead, look out, bit, you're kind of in the way. And I'm just going to stamp that over those leaves. I'm going to do that again, except this time I might not ink as much of it. Just going to bring in a rag, wipe off the bottom, so I can do the smaller leaf. Okay, and if it goes a little bit long, it's okay. It's not going to matter. Alright, put that one aside. And this one gets cut with this one. This one gets cut here. Okay, now I'm gonna, come on, go play. Bring in this piece. I'm gonna turn this so you can actually fit everything on there. I'm gonna bring in this flower. And the polished pink. Cat hair on it, lovely. Okay, see if I can get that off my fingernail now. And I'm just going to do random stamping. I'm just going to pick a spot and stamp. basically making my own paper. Okay, and I'm going to come in with the leaf stamp. This time I'm going to be using it the correct way, so I'm going to wipe it off, turn it over on my block. Get out the soft succulent. I'm just going to stamp it wherever I can fit it. Got these flowers a little bit close together, but that's alright. Works. Bit, no. Go on. Go get your mousie. Good kitty. I think I'll do this one this way. I think that looks pretty good. Okay. Now this one, on the right side, we're going to line up this die, and we're going to cut off a portion of that. And it's about, I don't know, maybe like that much. Okay, however much you get, it's fine. Okay, and I'm going to go do all my die cutting, and then I will be right back. Okay, I've got all my pieces cut. You'll see this is how much I cut off of there. You just kind of want it to be even on there. If it's not perfect, that's fine too. Okay, here's this piece. And I'm going to bring in my pokey tool. Let's poke it. It's going to come right out. And then I'm just going to do this. 90% of that will just fall out just by rubbing your nail over it. Those two that aren't, just poke out with a pokey tool. It makes a mess, but it cuts everything out. Here's this piece. Here's this piece. Okay. Let's put that there for now. Let's just wipe this mess up so you don't have to deal with it. Okay, now got all of our pieces. I still need to punch this one, so let's do that. I'm going to bring in this punch, Lovely Labels, and I'm going to put it in that center track, push it down in the track, and I'll push it in all the way. Turn it over, make sure it's centered, and punch. And I'm going to take it out. I'm going to turn it around the other way. Do the same thing. Didn't quite get that centered, but it's going to work anyway. It's going to go on there. Okay, so let's put some pieces together. I need to bring in this piece here that I punched earlier. And this is going to get glued on the back of this, like that. So let's go ahead and do that. Some glue down here at the bottom. And when it's centered, doesn't, kind of making this look like a tag. There we go. Just where it stops. The curves stop. A little bit crooked. There we go. Okay, now this piece is going to get glued at the bottom. We're probably going to have to cut one. Yeah, we need to cut one of these little circles off. So what I did is I just came in and I carefully snipped there where it overlapped or met there, and then right here I came down and just cut straight. Okay, now this is going to get glued at the bottom of that tag, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there on the back on this edge here. Stick that on the bottom. Okay. Flip that over. Let's put some dimensionals on the back of this. Put some here to hold this down. Okay, set that aside. Let's bring in our black piece. Now this piece was 4 1/4 by 5 1/4, and that was so that I could get this border around it. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue that down. Alright, this will get glued right to the front of our card. Paper's a little bit bent there. Add a little more glue there so I can make sure it stays down. Hold it for a second. Alright, this piece here is going to get put on this side, but I want to bring this in. I haven't taken the backs off yet because I want to sit something like that. So basically it's going to get centered on this piece here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that down. Take the backs off of this, dimensionals. And now I'm going to put this on here. I want the bottom of this to be about the same as the stitched, so those stitched layers kind of, I don't want the scallops to show behind here is what I'm trying to say. Okay, there's that part. Now I'm going to do the sentiment, and I'm going to put a dimensional on either side of this, none in the middle because it's already popped up in the middle. Take those off. Put a little glue in the middle. Lay that down. You could put it up here. Put it down just a little bit lower. Line that up with the edge of my cards. Set it down. And then I can bring in this piece. The wet glue on the back. Center that up. Awesome. There's our card. Now, let me put you on pause because I'm going to go see if I can find my crinkled seam binding, and we can add a bow here. Actually, I have one sitting right here. Let's add this bow right there. I don't know if I like it as a bow. Let's try something though. Let's try tucking it in there. Probably should have done this before I adhered it, but snip those a little bit. Should I keep them long? Snip them a little bit. Okay, let's bring in basic rhinestones. Add one here. And add one over here. Since I have that space there, I'm going to add that third one there. There we go. I just dressed it up just a little bit more. What do you think? Well, thank you for joining me today at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper.